Hey, Ram fans, it's back. My weekly power rankings. Going to get this out of the way. Labor Day weekend. We'll typically do this midweek, uh, bandwidth permitting. And I'm also going to share my week one game picks. This is all for fun, just to get some conversations going. Please share in the comments how you feel about my power rankings and the game picks. And worth noting, for those of you newer listeners, I don't do a 1 through 32 here. I talk about the top 12 typically, and I'll talk about my green room as well. Let's do that right now. The green room teams worth mentioning, but are just outside looking in. And I got three teams I want to mention before I get into my top 12. The first team I want to talk about is the Minnesota Vikings. Really solid roster and great coaching. Basically a rookie quarterback, though, right? J.J. McCarthy. So let's wait and see how that unfolds. LA Chargers, I would have had them in the top 12 if not for that injury to their left tackle. They're going to be in a dogfight. Two really good teams that they're going to be looking up at, I think, the Broncos and the Chiefs. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a lot of respect for what they've done there, just winning that NFC South year in over and year out. Baker Mayfield has really it's really come together for Baker Mayfield, hasn't it? He should have been in the Pro Bowl last year. Had an incredible season. So, and I think they're going to win that NFC South again. They will be a playoff team, and they will be a dangerous playoff team, but not in my top 12. So let's get into my top 12. Who do I have in my week zero power rankings? My number 12 team is the Cincinnati Bengals. And why do I have them there? Two words: Burrows and Chase. Burrows and Chase, they're going to light things up. Is there a better combo at the quarterback wide receiver position than those two? I don't think so. They are going to be fun to watch, and I think they're going to get off to a fast start, unlike past seasons. My number 11 ranked team, the Houston Texans. My concerns about them are the offensive line, four new starters, but this defense is going to be really aggressive, and they're going to be very dangerous. And I think this is one team, as I have them at number 11. I've seen them in the teens and other power rankings, and I've seen them in the top 7 or 8, and I think it's more likely that they'll overachieve than otherwise. I think this is a really good football team that's going to win that division outright. Colts could give them a little bit of a run, I suppose, but still a relatively weak division. Houston Texans are my number 11 team. My number 10 team, the San Francisco 49ers. Still a lot of star power there. There's question marks. Now here, Jawan Jennings, his calf injury may linger until he gets a new contract. Brandon Ayuk will miss the start of the season. Had a big exit of some defensive star power. Robert Saleh's back as a DC, though. This team is very well could win the division, even though I have another NFC West team ranked above them. And that's because of the schedule. But this is a good team. They're going to win a lot of football games. Some question marks, though. And remember, they won 5 games last year, so I feel it's justified to have them no higher than 10. I think a lot of folks are going to have them lower than that. But I think I have my pulse on this San Francisco 49er team. They're going to be dangerous. They're going to be a good football team, well coached, going to put a lot of points up on the board. It's just a matter of, McCaffrey staying healthy, getting Ayuk back, and this defense coming back together under Robert Saleh. My number 9 team is the Denver Broncos, and this team, two things you want to talk about here. One is this defense is adding players. Added a couple of 49ers, actually. Going to be a really, really good defense. And then Bo Nix. I am guilty of overlooking what an incredible season he had last year. And I go back to that film on draft day when Sean Payton and the Broncos selected Bo Nix. I don't know if you remember this, but Sean McVay and Les Snead were caught on camera reacting, and I thought it was a very peculiar reaction. And I read it as they were kind of envious. They loved Bo Nix in that draft. They just had no way of getting to him, and they got Matthew Stafford in the house already. But if I'm reading that right, Sean Payton read it right, and as did McVay and Snead. Bo Nix is a great player. And I had the Broncos at number 9, and they are going to be nipping at the heels of the Chiefs for a divisional title there in the AFC West. My number 8 team, the Commanders, Jaden Daniels. He is going to be a force in the NFC for years to come. And I just have the sense that the Rams and Commanders are on a collision course with each other. And I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. Commanders are on the rise. Very good football team, but it's mostly, in my mind, it's mostly about Jaden Daniels. He's just that type of quarterback that elevates everyone around him, sort of like Patrick Mahomes. My number 7th ranked team, the Detroit Lions, and dinging them a little bit because of the loss of their coordinators, especially Ben Johnson. We'll see how Jared Goff and that offense functions without him. Probably going to be okay, but it's not going to be as good. Ben Johnson is one of the best in the business, so there's going to be an impact with him leaving. And this is a defense that's already suffered some injuries, and we saw it happen to them last year when people started getting hurt. Commanders pummeled them in the playoffs, but I still have them at number 7 ahead of the Commanders. And my 6th ranked team, I have our Los Angeles Rams. And am I a homer? Absolutely. Do the Rams deserve the number 6 slot? I think they do. And, naysayers will say, offensively and defensively, statistically, not really that impressive last year, but they really came on at the end of the year, especially on defense. They've addressed the biggest issue with the defense, the run defense, adding Poona Ford and bolstering that linebacker group. And, just a solid 53-man roster with a great coach and a great quarterback. They're my number 6 team, and I feel good about that. I don't think I'm being overly generous to our Los Angeles Rams, having them at number 6. I've seen them higher elsewhere. My number 5 team, the Green Bay Packers, and they leapfrogged the Rams in my previous rankings that I didn't share with anybody as I developed these. Adding Micah Parsons and that wide receiver group, I think Matthew Golden is an overlooked draft piece. It's going to fit. It's going to address some of the issues they had with dropsies in the receiving group. Well-coached team, solid running game. Josh Jacobs there. They're going to be a force. I'm picking them to win the NFC North. I picked them before the Micah Parsons edition. So sticking with that prediction for sure. And my 4th ranked team, the Chiefs. I just got this feeling, that they're taking a step back, and it started with that Super Bowl loss. And that's just how I feel about the Chiefs. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are the best in the business, but it just wasn't pretty in that Super Bowl, and all good things come to an end. Chiefs will be a playoff team, but perhaps a wild card team. And my number 3 ranked team, the best regular season team year in and year out, our Baltimore Ravens. Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson just can't get it done in the playoffs. And it usually has something to do with the Chiefs and some other very good teams in the conference, obviously. But I still think they're right now the 3rd best team in the National Football League. The 2nd best team, your defending Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles. Is that unfair to have them at number 2? I just predicting them to, maybe level out a little bit. Super Bowl hangover, that is a thing. But they're going to be, are they going to win the NFC East? Commanders could give them a run. We'll have to see. But I'd expect the Commanders and the Eagles to both be playoff teams. And my number 1 team is Josh Allen, otherwise known as the Buffalo Bills. They are solid as they come, and I think Josh Allen is, I think Josh Allen and Jaden McDaniels are perhaps the 2 best quarterbacks in the league, along with Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. Just digging myself a hole here. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in this league, but bottom line, Josh Allen is just really good at what he does, and he is what elevates this Bills team over the Eagles and the Ravens at this point. It's the Josh Allen effect. Now we're going to get into these game picks, my week 1 Rams straight up game picks. And we'll start with, I'm not going to get into depth on all these games. There's about 4 here I'll talk about a little bit in detail. And like I say, I'm going to give you some betting advice. Take that with a grain of salt. But it's just my gut feeling on how I'm seeing these games right now. And like I say, I've bested some of the experts are straight up. I've tracked how I've done against Pete Prisco and others, and I stand up pretty well against them. First game, that Thursday night game, Cowboys at the Eagles. Eagles favored by 7.5, and we'll see the Eagles win that game. Cowboys could make it interesting, though. The second game on the slate here, the Friday night game at SoFi, the Chiefs at the Chargers. What a shame the Chargers are without that left tackle. Chargers on a 7-game losing streak against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs coming off that humiliating Super Bowl loss. They come on the road. Going to be a lot of Chiefs fans at this game. They're favored by 3.5, and I think they cover. The Chiefs are going to cover. I think the Chargers are going to have what it takes to keep this game, try to shorten the game, keep it more low scoring, but I still think the Chiefs come out on top by more than 3.5. That's my first game with some betting advice there for you. Another big divisional matchup, the Bucks at the Falcons. Bucks favored by 2.5. I'll roll with the road team in this one as well. The Bucks come out on top. And the Bengals at the Browns. Bengals 5.5-point favorites at the Browns. And I just went on and on about Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. So yeah, I'm picking the Bengals to win that one. Let's see, we got 4 more games on the slate here. First up, the Colts hosting the Dolphins. Colts favored by 1.5. Man, how we feel about the Dolphins sure has flipped in a couple years, hasn't it? They're still going to be a fun team. Tua and Tyreek and the running back there, lightning fast. But I'm taking the Colts. I think the Colts are a very solid defensive team. They have a really good offensive line. They're going to hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor a lot. Questions at quarterback there, but I'll take the Colts to win that. Panthers at the Jags, another game that doesn't really excite me well, but I'll take the Jags in that one. And then the Raiders at the Patriots. The Patriots are a team that is going to overachieve, I think. They're favored in 2.5 in this one. The over and under is 42.5. Patriots are going to, the Raiders, man, I don't know what's going on there. Pete Carroll might be able to get it turned around just with his energy and his positivity, but on the road in New England, Patriots take it. Now, another game I'll talk a little bit more about, the Cardinals at the Saints. It seems to me that both these teams get off to good starts, play good football early in the season, and then it kind of falls apart. But Cardinals are favored by 6.5 in this game. The Saints have some, Spencer Rattler's the quarterback. I think that's the concern. With money coming in on the Cardinals in all likelihood. The series is dead tied, 16 wins, 16 losses. And this Arizona defense, going to be a test for the Saints. I don't know. The Cardinals and Coach Jonathan Gannon have made a serious effort in improving this defense, and they have. It's going to be a new defense, finally in his mold, I think, and it's going to give the Saints all kinds of trouble. And I think the Saints are going to have issues in this game, big time on offense. I probably would go under 42.5 in this one. Cardinals defense is going to really shut down the Saints. And but I don't know if the Saints are going to play good defense as well. Could be a real low scoring game. Let's leave it at that. Let's see, next set of games here. We have the Steelers at the Jets. This is the type of game that just does not excite me at all. Steelers are favored by 2.5 on the road. I'll take the Steelers to take care of business there. The Giants at the Commanders. Commanders favored by 6.5. A lot of people excited about the Giants, but Commanders at home. Jaden Daniels going to light it up. They'll win that game. And the Titans at the Broncos. Broncos are one of the teams I'm most excited about. They're 7.5-point favorites, and I will take the Broncos in that one. And the Seahawks, 49ers at the Seahawks. Let's talk about this one. NFC West clash, really important game. Seahawks actually lead this series 31 wins to 23 losses, even though the 49ers have won 6 straight, had won 6 straight before the Seahawks pulled off that win last year. Remember Geno Smith running for the touchdown at the end of the game there. Seattle D is going to be flying all over the place, and I think they take this game. 49ers going to be a little shorthanded on offense, and no Brandon Ayuk. Seahawks going to win this at home. 12th man steps up and helps them get the win there. And the last 4 games on the slate, the Lions at the Packers. Man, I talk about big divisional games. Packers 2.5-point favorites, and man, flip a coin on that one, but I guess I'll take the Packers. Ravens at the Bills, 2 of the top teams. This is my number 1 and number 3 ranked teams, right? I'll take the Bills at home. When in doubt, take the home team. Bills favored by 1.5, by the way. And then the Vikings at the Bears. Let's talk about this one a little bit. Vikings with the 10-game lead in this series, 68 wins, 58 losses, and 2 ties. J.J. McCarthy versus Caleb Williams. And I have to say, Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, I have high hopes for them. Not good reports coming out of Chicago early in that relationship. But hey, they'll get it squared away, and they probably have by now. Who are you going to take, though? Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison against these young guys, Roman Odunze, Colston Loveland. I don't know, man. It's going to be really fun. It could end up being a high-flying affair. We'll have to see. I'll take the Vikings, though, to figure it out. And I know nothing about J.J. McCarthy. I think I'll be pulling for Caleb Williams. Really want to see him get things turned around. And this would be one of my betting lines. I think I'll take the Vikings to cover in that one, cover the 2.5 points. And then finally, the Texans at the Rams. Rams favored by 2.5, and you know how I roll. I very rarely pick against the Rams, and I'm not today. Rams win this one straight up. So let's go through these games one more time. Well, first the bets. I got 4 bets I centered on. Chiefs cover against the Chargers. Seahawks straight up over the 49ers. Take the under in the Cardinals versus the Saints, and the Vikings to cover over the Bears. And rehashing those straight up picks one last time. Make sure you got it all here. Make sure I'm squared away. These are straight up picks. I'm taking the Eagles over the Cowboys, the Chiefs over the Chargers, Bucks over the Falcons, Bengals over the Browns, the Colts over the Dolphins, Jags over the Panthers, Patriots over the Raiders, Cardinals over the Saints, Steelers over the Jets, Commanders over the Giants, Broncos over the Titans, Seahawks over the 49ers, and the last 4, Packers over the Lions, Bills over the Ravens, Vikings over the Bears, and the Rams over the Texans. Y'all have your receipts. We'll see how it goes. We'll check in next week, and I'll be comparing to some other expert in all likelihood, tracking, seeing how I do against all these, got some of these experts, and you'll be surprised. I'm going to do pretty well. That's my prediction out here from Rams Up.